I am kind of none of those things, but I am Ian, and I am going to be running the show today. Courtney?
Let's go!
How about that? Todd is not here today. I know, it's exciting. We're going to have some fun. We've got some guests.
Just the two of us.
Just
the two of us.
Yep, it's going to be, that was weird, but it's going to be fun.
I don't think so.
We're going to talk about some hot housing markets. We're going to talk about mortgage rates. We're going to give you some really cool success stories later on in the show. We're going to have Gibson join us. We're going to have Grady join us. We're going to talk all things conference. That was a pretty fun week.
I mean, I look forward to it every year. And it was one of our best.
It really was. Like, we had 100 plus agents with us. We laughed. We learned. We had some incredible speakers. And I think ultimately, like, all of our team really enjoyed it because they left those 2 days with more knowledge than when they walked in.
Yeah. We're more fired up than ever.
Yeah. And for a team that trains
Yes.
and talks all the time about getting better, and we talk about it a lot, it was really cool to like see everybody fired up of like, hey, I've never heard that person speak before, and I've got actionable takeaway items that I can now go do some really cool stuff with, like serving our clients at an even higher level.
And the event looked great. The theme was awesome.
Special agents.
Special agent, the branding, it was just beautiful.
It was. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to do a bunch of stuff today. But this first segment, as always, is brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his incredible team with ABC Bank. You can reach out to Patrick by going to patrickglaros.com, Glaros, patrickglaros.com. That's where you can do an application right there on his website. You can call him at 972-386-1231. If you are looking to get a mortgage, refinance, HELOCs, anything like that, if you just have questions, reach out to Patrick. He's who I've gone through for years now. Todd's always gone to. So many of our team, clients, family members have all worked with Patrick. I just closed on something with Patrick a couple of weeks ago. patrickglaros.com, NMLS number 308804. And, Court, I'm going to go one better than just a little read with Patrick.
No.
I've got Patrick right here on the line. Patrick, are you there, sir?
You better believe it.
Yes.
I do believe it. Let's go.
People want to know about interest rates. It's hot. It's holding people back.
Well, it's been an interesting couple months, at least that we've seen on the team. So I want to get your thoughts and perspective, Patrick, because the last 2 months, at least, have been some of our better months over the last 4+ years. And we had some really great months there. But what we've seen is more buyers saying, hey, I'm ready to do something. I'm not going to keep waiting. I'm not going to keep saying, I'm going to wait for the interest rates to come back down to what they were in 2021. Like, that's kind of feels like it's finally stopped. Sellers are more realistic, I feel now, where they're saying, hey, I understand the market we're in. It's been like this for a while now. I'm not expecting to sell first weekend, although we still have done that several times recently. But there's more realistic sellers and there's more optimism in the buyers. But at the same time, we haven't seen like dramatic shifts in interest rates. So what are you seeing, Patrick? Like, what do you kind of explain that to?
Well, I think a lot of it is on what people are expecting interest rates to do. And we have seen some improvement in rates. You know, that's happened on and off really since the tail end of last year, where we saw rates come down into the high fives or low sixes. But it's always been very brief. It hasn't sustained long enough, I don't think, to actually change the mindset of the buyers in the market. But as we've had more economic data come out that the Fed looks at to drive their policy, we've seen some issues with jobs and unemployment numbers, and inflation has been a little bit more tame than maybe was anticipated on the heels of all the tariffs. And so with all that, you now have a greater expectation that the Fed is going to start cutting rates. And so the consensus right now is that we're still going to get 2 or 3 more rate cuts this year. And, one important piece there is the Fed cutting rates does not directly impact mortgage rates,
Correct.
But they generally move in the same direction. And so I think as you get more talk about what the Fed may do in a rate cut, the market just starts to move, the mortgage market and all others just start to move in that direction in anticipation of the actual event happening.
So what in your world, what are you hearing that the Fed rate cuts might be? Are you hearing like 0.25%, 2 or 3 more times? What are you hearing?
The consensus now is that, within the rest of the year or through 2025, we'll have 50 to 75 basis points in rate cuts. And so that will directly impact the consumer and our buyers, just not directly on their mortgage rate. So that'll help with their auto loans. If they're buying a car, it'll help with their credit card rates. It helps with a lot of short-term rates.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of those same factors that ultimately will drive down those longer-term rates like mortgages. So we're seeing that now. I don't think that is yet being realized by the market. Rates start to come down, buyers get excited, but they haven't necessarily come out in droves. And so I think that's still to come. People have a number in their head, whether it's, okay, if rates get down to something with a 5 in front of it, I'm back on. Okay,
yeah, so
well, we're getting...
So for somebody right now, sorry to cut you off, for somebody right now that's well qualified, good, the numbers all look good, where's somebody generally going to be mortgage rate wise currently right now?
Well, earlier in the year, you might have been in the high 6s or the mid 6s. You're now likely to be closer to the low 6s or the high 5s. So, it's a big shift. And I think while it definitely impacts that monthly payment, it's that mindset of somebody drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm not going to do anything while rates are this high. And whatever this high means to them, it's valid.
It feels like there was something about like a crooked number, right? That number 7 being there that really like put people off. But once we're getting into the low 6s and then into the 5s, it feels as though the optimism shoots up more.
I definitely agree. And it's all cyclical. And so do I feel like we're on the other end of this cycle where rates have been going up and staying higher? Yes, I think we're on the tail end of that, and we're starting to see them come down. Does it mean we're going back to 2 or 3%? No, I wouldn't hold your breath. But, I think it's very realistic that we get rates down into something with a 5 in front of it, and that gets a lot of buyers activated that have otherwise been sitting on the sidelines. And that goes for sellers as well.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple other things. By the end of the year, is it reasonable to think we could be closer to mid 5s, kind of 5, 6, 5, 7, somewhere around there, maybe, if we get those Fed rate cuts?
It very well could be. The crystal ball is still in the shop, as I shared before. I was
hoping you were going to have it this time.
No, the guy is still working on it. But in the meantime, I think the big clues are going to be watching the economic data. The Fed has been very consistent to making their decisions based on the data. And the data has recently not been great. The BLS, some call it something else with those letters. But, the BLS, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, has having to go back and do a lot of revisions downward that really paint a worse picture than when the data comes out in the first place. And so if that sort of thing continues, it's not a great sign of how the economy is necessarily performing. Well, that's what causes the Fed to start cutting rates. That's where they say, all right, we need to ease the pressure on this economy that seems to be maybe running out of some steam in the jobs market. And we want to put some fire back into these people and into the consumer.
Yeah, makes total sense. Ultimately, look, this is what I'm going to say as we just kind of wrap up our time with Patrick. If you are at a point where you are saying to yourselves, hey, I think now's the time, it probably is. Like we've said on our team, as long as I've been here, and I've been here a decade almost, the time to buy or sell a home is when it makes sense for you and your family and your finances. And if all 3 of those things line up, great, go for it. If one of those 3 things isn't quite there, at least have a conversation with somebody to figure out when that time might be. Don't worry about the interest rates would be my other thing right now. we are definitely not at the highest that we've been at. Of course, we're not even close to the lowest. Like Patrick said, don't hold your breath for something in the 2s again. You can hold your breath, but I mean, you might need to hold it for a real long time, because that was something that we really had never really seen before. And it made things insane. Like, it's so funny to me, Patrick, because people look back and it's like, oh, I really wish I'd done something back in 2020, 21 when interest rates were like that. But people forget that at that time, you were having to bid so high on properties because they were getting 30, 40, 50 different offers. And it was really difficult. I remember our buyer agents on our team, our buyer specialists, they would come into our huddles in the morning. They would be like, I'm exhausted. Like, I showed houses and I lost out on 6 offers in the last 2 weeks because people are bidding 90,000 over asking price. Or like, I got under contract finally. It was like, it's a $350,000 house and we ended up having to do 425. I mean, that was realistic as to what was having to happen. People forget that. Like, we're not going to be there, I don't think. Like, there's nothing to suggest that. But as those interest rates come down into the mid-5s, and who knows if we get into the lower 5s at some point next year or whatever, that's just going to increase the number of people that are out there, and it potentially is going to increase what you're going to have to pay for a home. And so if you're able to do that now, I think it just makes total sense. Give me your final words, Patrick, last minute, on anything else that you think is just important for folks to know right now.
I think just to tie into what you were just sharing is, there's a different market, years prior. And one of those big differences is the inventory. And right now there's an opportunity with sellers who have raised their hand and said, okay, I'm ready to do something. Their properties are on the market and the buyers have not come out in droves yet.
Correct.
And so the prices are still fair. You can get some deals with good agents like the Tremonti team. You can get concessions off the price sometimes. You can get the seller to pay some of your closing costs, or you can actually have more than 4 houses to go look at in a weekend, so you can truly find what you want. And I do believe that once rates either hold in this lower area or even continue lower, that we will see the buyers come out and they're going to eat up that demand, and we won't have the same flexibility in the market. So we've been talking about a sweet spot coming in the market, and we won't know when we're in it or when we were in it until we're out of it. But I would not be surprised to look back and see that this window was a great opportunity to, capture a lower rate environment than where we've been in years prior, but also maybe one of the best opportunities to, find what you're looking for and get it at the right price.
Awesome. All right. Remember, go to patrickglaros.com. That's how you can connect with Patrick, or just head over to toddtremontiteam.com. Click on that radio tab where you can find not only Patrick's info, but all of our other pros and vendors that we recommend. They will be right there. Patrick, thank you for your time, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
See ya.
Take care.
All right, let's move on to a story that I saw the other day, and I think you sent me it, Courtney, was about a certain zip code in Dallas.
Yes.
Being the number 3 among the nation's hottest luxury housing market.
Yes, it's
75201 zip.
That's us.
That's going to be kind of your
downtown Dallas.
And a little bit of uptown, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. And I found this other article that says that DFW ranks number 2 for most new apartments built in 2025.
Okay.
Do you think that, like, where do you think the luxury market and the rental market are mashing up here?
So I think it's interesting, right? Because if you go downtown into the downtown Dallas area, for the people that don't live in downtown Dallas, I think the thought of living in downtown Dallas sends shivers through our bodies.
Totally.
Right? Like, we live in the burbs.
It is a sprawl.
It is, and it's hectic, and it's just busy, and it's just lots of little streets everywhere. It's like very different to living in Plano or in Richardson or in Allen or wherever you live. And so the idea of that is like completely different. Like, the article that said that it was number 3 in the country, they only focused on zip codes that had an average sales price of at least 1.5 million.
Yeah.
And they had to have had at least 10 listings sold in the previous year. And so it's kind of a niche zip code thing, right?
Right.
But I think the big thing is, for your question, I know people that have rented downtown, and I know people that have lived in the downtown area, and they love it.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of really cool, like, unique restaurants. Like when we see TV shows feature restaurants, or we look at the Michelin star guides,
It's down there.
They're almost always there. And you have different parks and trails. Like, there is a lot to do down there. It's just not something we think of.
The energy is very fun.
It is, but it's expensive because of all of that.
I can't wrap my mind around paying $1.5 million for like a high-rise spot.
Yeah, I mean, you generally speaking don't get a whole lot for your money.
Feels like a different like headspace.
That's fair. I think it is. I mean, it is a different headspace. Like, it's somebody that wants to be able to walk to everywhere they want to go to, right? It's like, I mean, but there's also plenty of those places. You can go to Legacy West and you can find apartments and you can find homes over there, even where you can just go walk to everywhere, and people love that.
Yeah.
Now, that's not for everybody. I think it's a certain life stage, maybe. Like, I personally couldn't imagine doing that with my 14-year-old and almost 13-year-old. Like,
Sure.
That's just not the life stage that we live in. But there might be somebody else listening that's like, I have a 13 and 14-year-old and I love it.
Right.
And it's like, great. I think the bigger point is, that's really nice that we've got a zip code, which is like a really fancy zip code. The bigger point is, like, you just have to figure out where you want to live and what makes sense for what is important to you. Like, what do you value most? We've talked about your neighborhood and how you love your neighborhood because
it's got free range vibes.
Yeah, and community and like tons of other things. And it's also not like hustle, bustle, crazy chaos. It's a little bit more relaxed. And
there is something peaceful to me about an apartment with a view, and maybe I'm just like really into my career.
Sure.
You know, and I want to just be able to quickly get to the office, and I'm traveling a lot. And so there's no yard to maintain, and it just feels safe. And yeah.
There's a tons that goes through it. Look, the point is, if you want to live downtown, you can give us a call. We'll help you do that. If you want to live in the burbs, you can give us a call. We'll help you do that.
Yes.
Like, we can definitely help you no matter where it is you're looking. And if you're not sure, let's do something what we call a strategy session, where we sit down and we'll spend 30 minutes, an hour, just talking and helping you think through what does make the most sense for you and your family and your finances. We normally do those all through the month of January, and we'll start talking about that a whole lot more. But this is something that we talk about with our team as a reminder of like, hey, don't forget, if somebody isn't quite ready, make sure that you're offering a strategy call to people. Help people. That's what we should be focusing on, is like, hey, let me make sure I can help our clients and people that reach out to us to be able to do some of these things. So reach out to us, give us a call, 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, and we can get you connected. You might talk to myself or Gibson, one of our team members, and we can just go from there. And we'll have a conversation. We'll do that. If you haven't checked your home valuation recently, do that. Head over to toddtramoniteam.com, click on the home valuation tab. And how long did it take you when you did it, Courtney?
40 seconds.
Like 40 seconds, and you'll be able to get a home value, rent, what it would rent for, your home equity. You can ask for cash offers, all sorts of different things. Just head over to toddtramoniteam.com and click on that home valuation tab. And the last one I'm going to give you, if you haven't reached out to DP Lambert recently and checked your home insurance, your auto insurance, do so. DP is my go-to person. It's Todd's go-to person. It's our team's go-to person for home and auto insurance. He's a broker. He's going to be able to shop all the different companies, and he's going to be able to find you the best rate with the best coverage. And he has done that for so many of our friends and family. He's saved me personally literally thousands of dollars over the years in the way that he has gone about his business. So reach out to DP, dp.lambert, Lambert, dp.lambert@goosehead.com. Okay, I want to get into a little bit of a market report here with you, Court. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we crunch the numbers is what we do here, as Todd likes to say. Right. We like to crunch the numbers. So
Experts.
yes. So what does it look like this year compared to last year? Okay. So year over year, July specifically, because July, you know, summer, right? When should people buy and sell houses?
Well, when it's right for your family.
All right. What do most people in the industry though say?
Spring and summer. But we
right?
like a fall.
Well, we love the fall.
Strategy.
We love the winter. Exactly. We like the strategy. We like to figure out what's going to be best for every single one of our clients. There is no one size fits all plan for buying or selling. We want to make sure that we customize everything and do that. So when we look at what the numbers are for July specifically, it was really interesting. So 28 out of 44 market areas in DFW had more sales this year than they did last year. Okay. Now there was a few areas where that dipped, and those are areas where fewer number of homes sell anyway, so it's a little less reliable. But it could also be like going from 50 homes sold to 49 homes sold. So what was interesting, as one of our team members sent me this, was as we look at places like Dallas's total sales, as big as Dallas is, increased by 1% year over year, which you might be like, it's just 1%. That's nothing. Well, 1% at Dallas is huge. It's a lot. And I think that just speaks into more of what we're saying. What we've been saying throughout the show is there's just simply more optimism. You know, if we can look at what last year was like, and last year was hard. It wasn't the most fun time to be in real estate, and the beginning of this year wasn't the most fun time to be in real estate. But when you have a team that's able to work together and think through problems and solve and analyze, now you start to be able to piece some of these things together. And then when we look at it overall and we're saying, oh no, like there are just generally more homes selling, that to me just says, despite everything that's out there in the media with negativity, like don't do it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, like more people are actually reaching out to experts and saying, hey, give me some advice. Like, what should I actually do? And then people are acting on it. And to me, it's encouraging. So I just think generally as we look at the market as a whole, you know, I had a conversation with a friend of mine outside of our church a couple weeks ago, and he literally said to me, hey, what's the market like? And I said, do you want to buy specific, sell specific, or just overall? And he said, overall would be great. And so I just told him, I gave him the overall thing of what it's like on our team, but there are still anomalies out there. And his response to me was like, get out. Like, I thought it was like the worst time still in real estate. And I'm like, no, like it's definitely a lot. Like there's more optimism in things now than I can remember for quite a while. He was like, that's not what I'm seeing anywhere. So it was encouraging. I share that with you for that reason. Again, reach out to us. If you haven't checked your home valuation, head over to toddtremonti.com. Click on that home valuation tab. You can get it in less than 1 minute. You can give us a call for all of your home buying, home selling needs. If you just have questions, feel free to reach out to us, 214-310-0008. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back, everybody. We are in the Trinity Home Advisors studio. We are thrilled to be here, and we have some extra guests with us, Court. 2 new people for the second half of the show. I know you're excited. We've got the, thankfully, one and only Grady Dill.
Hello.
There's Grady. And we also have the phenomenal Gibson Aguirre.
We should have speaking for each other.
Oh, yeah. That is a running joke in our office that they get
Like
called
like,
opposite
here's
names.
Grady, and then you speak. And
Yeah.
but it's
We missed
hard
out
to
on
The problem is,
radio.
Grady, it's an audio
no.
experienced people, and they would not have got the joke. Like at all.
Which, how long can you keep that going?
I mean, on radio, probably not long, or maybe as long as you want.
That's what I'm saying.
But also,
too
only
late.
only the 3 of us would have found it funny.
I mean, Grady could be my face for radio, and I could be Grady's face for radio.
Sure.
I've been told I have a face for radio.
And my friend, you do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, this first part of the show in the second half is, as always, brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his whole team. We heard from Patrick in the first half of the show, and I think he gave some really, really incredible info and perspective as to what to expect as we move towards the end of the year. You can reach out to Patrick, like I told you, patrickglaros.com. That's where you can go and start an application, whether it's to get a mortgage or refinance, HELOCs. Reach out to Patrick, NMLS number 308804. All right, I think there's a number of things we could start this part of the show with. I want to hear from you, Grady, though, because we teased it a little bit in the first half of the show where we said we had a great conference last week. It's a ton of work. Our team does amazing. So grateful for everybody that puts in their time and their energy. Our agents take, basically time away from their clients, and they let their clients know that they're doing this because it also helps them to get better. But give us a quick rundown, give us a recap. What were some of your highlights? Why are you even telling people about this?
Yeah, it's always a really fun event. You get so many people in the room that have stacked hands to say we're going to hit pause on our business to focus in our business. And so getting the opportunity for those 2.5 days to sit down and network, I had some really great conversations with people that are in our own market and not in our market, just about what they're walking through, what's been going well, what's been hard. It's a good recharge for people, but there's so many takeaways because of the speakers. Like Kev Michael was one of the speakers, and he brought some good stuff about chasing your audience and the people that, like, attracting the right audience to you that match your business. And then Darcy Juarez brought some great stuff as well. She's a marketing guru, if you're not familiar with her. So
has worked with and is behind some of the most incredible marketing people out there. Russell Brunson, Dan Kennedy. She's worked with all these incredible people. And we asked her to come and speak because when agents can do one of two things, right? They can go to sit in their car or their home or their office or whatever, and then be like, I'm just going to hope that people reach out to me. I'll do a Facebook post or an Instagram post.
Right.
I'll let people know that I'm doing this as a business. And for new agents, generally speaking, they don't know. My wife hates this. They don't know what they don't know, right?
Yep.
They don't have any concepts as to what marketing themselves, their brand looks like when trying to grow a business. And so it was really important that we had people like that at the conference because it was helping the people in that room to grow their businesses. And guess what? When they grow their businesses, they're able to serve their clients at a higher level, which is ultimately what it's all about for us. And it's a thing we talk about so often as our team is like, hey, are you serving your client at the highest level possible? And for brand new people, if they're honest with themselves, I think their answer is no. When people first join us in our coaching consulting company, the first thing we have every single one of them do is we have a module on mindset to help people change their mindset. And then they have like a 5-part kind of a questionnaire reflection plan of where they're at and where they want to be. And it's really interesting when we get to read those because it's like, here's where I want to be, but here's where I'm at. And I don't know how to get from A to B, and I need the help with that.
Yeah. So it was another great conference. I mean, we love doing it. It is a lot of work, but we walk away every year being like, that was incredible. And I think everybody says the same thing, every attendee. I mean, people have been back for, how many people?
Well, this is our 7th year of doing it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in that room that have been there all 7 years.
There is.
Yeah.
And so there's also a lot of new people this year, and there's a lot more local people this year, which to me was really encouraging. I think it's interesting because a lot of times agents can be territorial, shall we say, and they don't want other people to be successful because they're taking business away from them. And I love that in the room that we were in, it's a bunch of people that want to help each other, even though we're in the same market. Guess what? DFW is kind of a big market. Did you know that?
There's a lot of agents.
A lot of agents, but also a lot of people selling and buying houses.
A lot of territory.
So there's a lot of stuff going on there. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great time. You did a great job. I think the whole team did a good job. And I just think people are going to get to be served by more knowledgeable agents now because of the conference. And I'm excited for next year. We'll do it again. And, yeah, it was something that was really fun. It was fun. Anything else?
No, I mean, it was a great time. If you didn't make it this year, next year, join us.
Yeah, and if you want more information on like why do we do that, if you're an agent and you're like, oh man, I wish I'd known about that, like
reach out to me.
Reach out to Grady. Reach out. Just give us a call. 214-310-0008. If you're like, hey, I want to know more about the team that would put on a conference to help other agents. That seems weird. Kind of does. But it's also like what we want to do. We want to help and serve not only our clients, but we want to help and serve other people too, other agents, because they get to go and kind of do that for their clients too. But if you're like, hey, I want to be on a team that does that, I might want to join that, reach out to us. 214-310-0008. All right, we've got Gibson here too. And Gibson has some incredible, this last month was nuts for you.
Insane.
Like maybe the last 2 months, but definitely the last month was just insane. So we said to Gibson, we said, hey Gibson, Courtney went up to him. I'm going to do my best Courtney impression. Ready? Hey, Gibson. Gibby, as I like to call you. Hey, Gibby. Do you have a success story that you would like to bring to the radio show today? And Gibson responded, those are the only stories I've got. Let's go!
Nailed it.
How did I do? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But you have success stories, and I think you've got one in particular, or one or two that you want to share with us, and so take it away.
Yeah, probably the biggest buyer win as of recent is some good friends of mine that we've been searching for 14 months. So, not a normal track. A lot of that was me counseling them and slowing them down and making sure that we were making a wise choice. But at the end of all those 14 months, we ended up contracting on a property that was about 5% under its list price, a total of $45,000 under list price, and ended up being the best of 4 houses that we submitted offers on in that 14-month period. We just kind of looked back and said, man, it was a slow process. It was definitely longer than they had anticipated, but to be on the back end of it and looking at the other 3 houses that we made offers on at some point, and to know that, hey, this actually is the best house that we ended up with. So yeah, that's in the last month.
Yeah.
Let's talk another one in the next 3 weeks.
Right. So let me reiterate something that I think is really important that Gibson said, though. The result is fantastic. We're always thrilled when we get amazing results for our clients. It took 14 months, right? People wait. We tell people on the show all the time, you can never start looking too early. It's very easy to start looking too late. So there's when you first started working with your clients, and you just said yourself that it took longer than they expected, because they wanted to be in a specific area, in a specific neighborhood with a specific house. So it's somewhat is a waiting game for that. What was their expectation as to how long it would take?
I remember sitting in their living room and signing our buyer rep agreement and saying, hey, we set this up at 12 months. Not that we would anticipate it to take 12 months, but just so that we don't have to send you new paperwork every quarter. And they laughed and are like, oh my gosh, if it takes a year. And then here we are.
Right.
We re-upped paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just time is, fortunately for them, timing was not an element that was influencing their decision, which is probably, if I can endorse one thing for families, that's, hey, don't let time be a big influence on decision making, especially when you're buying a house.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a massive financial decision for your family and just huge transition.
Yeah, it's so important that you set yourself up well on the front end, which is why we're telling people already. Like, if you're thinking about doing something next year, reach out to us. If you're thinking about trying to get something done by the end of this year, you absolutely need to reach out to us. If you're thinking about it and you're just not sure, that's what we have the strategy sessions for. That's when Gibson will take, or Jeremy or John, David, anybody on our team, one of our agents will take the time, Mari in Fort Worth, and just sit down and just be like, hey, let's just talk through what this plan might be. I mean, how many times have you done that? You've been on our team now for what, 3 years?
Coming up
3 years. I think you do this as much as anybody does this, especially with like your friend group and people that you know, but also people that call into the office or sign up on our website where you're just saying, hey, I'll sit down with you. I don't mind. So I think too often agents are like, if it's not today, then I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm good. But that's not helpful. Like you do that really well and people come back to you. Part of the reason that your clients that just closed were not mad that it took 40 months is because you're communicating with them and you're helping them to understand that. And I think that's really important. I mean, how often do you come across people that call into our office? Gibson handles almost all of our inbound phone calls right now. And so how many people do you speak to where they call in and whether it's a buy side or a sell side and they're frustrated because they're just not getting information from their agent. They're just not getting talked to. I mean,
9 out of 10 times.
It happens so often. It's like, come on, like one of the things that we ask our team to do every week and we actually track it is how many times are you calling clients for no reason?
Just random.
Yeah. Just to say, hey, I mean, shouldn't that be what we do? Like, shouldn't we reach out to people and just be like, hey, you good? I don't have anything to tell you. Nothing real estate related. And I'm just calling just to say, hey.
Yeah, just relational.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Right? It shouldn't be. And yet people that happens to, it's like, really, y'all do that? And it's like, yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah. I got a lunch today with a past client.
Yeah.
Just because.
Right. I've got a coffee today with a what would be a future client. And he's like, I just want to catch up, say hey. And he reached out to me and was like, let's go do that. I was like, perfect.
I don't want to deflate that lunch. We'll probably talk, now that football season is kicked off.
Well, it's important.
Yeah, that lunch will be very structured.
Middlesbrough undefeated. I don't know if you realize that. That's the football you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Good segue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, not Cowboys. Whatever. We don't want to talk about that. Hey, another big thing. Gibson, you had something happen recently?
Hi,
Gibson.
Ian, it's Mum. Happy birthday. Lots of love. Enjoy your day.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Mom. I knew she'd
Hi,
reach
Mom.
out to you, Gibson.
Gosh, I've been waiting for that.
I know. And then I had another one reach out to you, too.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go.
Incredible.
Yeah, the cousins, the nephews reached out all the way from England because they just wanted to say,
Hi, Ian, it's Mum. Happy birthday.
there you go.
Golly.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Now it's a wholesome birthday. Like, really?
Have the nephews been over here?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm sure we will at some point. We'll have to warn everybody. The nephews are coming.
Yeah,
over.
I want to be a part of the team that is building the itinerary.
That's
for
what I
the-
was just thinking.
for their
Like if you're coming
Western
over, it's like,
tour.
okay, we have 5 days. What are we doing?
Oh my goodness, it would just be chaotic. Now they've been their mom is Argentinian from Argentina, so they were in Argentina like a couple of weeks ago. They were there for 3 weeks.
Oh, cool.
So they go to Argentina, fluent in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah,
First stop is always Shields, just as the culture shock.
Oh, yeah.
I do that to out of Texas people. Like
Really?
out of state. Oh, I take them to Shields and just walk them around.
do you know where
They're
my first stop was? Anytime I came to the US when I was dating my wife, first stop off the plane, every
Texas
single
Roadhouse.
time.
7-Eleven.
Taco Cabana.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'd never had anything like it. We don't have things like that in England. I was like, Taco Cabana. But I used to say taco. That was how I
Taco.
pronounced it back then.
You still go to Taco Cabana?
Rarely.
Yeah.
It's kind of a memory when we go.
Luxury now.
Luxury item.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right. One thing that I want to do that we do on the show, Courtney, this is one of your favorite segments, right, Court?
Yes.
52 Yorkshire sentences that will confuse the bleep out of everybody else. And oh boy, do I have a good one for you today. Courtney, you're going to have to come and stand by a microphone for this because I need you to also...
I'm pretty good.
You actually nailed it last time, if I remember correctly. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's sentence is... Mind you visit your nan this weekend. She's getting reet mardy.
Oh.
Mind you visit your nan this weekend. She's getting reet mardy.
Something about visiting my mom or your mom.
Visit your aunt or grandmother because she's getting old.
Sounds like a how your mom
Mind
and
your own
them.
business.
You're not even close, Scott.
It sounds like the how your mom and them.
Gibson is probably closest.
Yeah, when's the last time you visited your grandmother? Because, she's not going to always be here.
And how's she doing?
So it was your first part you nailed.
Aunt?
You got to go visit your grandma.
Okay,
your
grandma.
nan. The reet mardy, she's getting angry. It's been a while.
Say it one more time now.
Man, you visit your nan this weekend. She's getting reet Marty.
Mind you visit your nan this weekend. She's getting reet Marty.
So we say reet instead of right,
that
and
makes
Marty
sense.
is angry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad he's shaking his head.
I'm shaking my head.
Sense.
You didn't get it after my translation?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, if you let me tell you about Republic Title. They are our absolute go-to for anything when it comes to getting a contract and we need a title company. They do everything we need and they do it right. And it's so important you have a good title company. It's one of the most important things because it can absolutely mess up a transaction. Head over to republictitle.com. You can see all the things they offer. republictitle.com. And if you forget any of the pros and vendors that we talk about on the show, as always, head over to toddtramoniteam.com, click on the radio tab, and you can find all of our recommended pros and vendors right there. Okay, as you both work with buyers, as you both look towards what is the Q4 going to look like in real estate. We talked earlier on in the radio show. Patrick said, hey, I'm expecting 2, if not 3 more Fed cuts. 0.5 point to 3/4 of a point off total. Yes, that's not going to be a direct reflection in interest rates, but it should have something. We talked about, is it possible we might be comfortably in that 5, 6, 7, 8 range in interest rates? Patrick was like, it's possible. I don't have my magic crystal ball, still in the shop, but it's possible. What do you both see as we enter Q4? And we're saying, hey, this is what my expectation would be. This is what I'm telling my clients that are kind of not quite ready, but they still want to do something this year. What do you both think the end of this year will look like? Start with Grady.
I always feel like this is historically for me when buyer business kind of explodes on my side of things. Personally, we bought a house last fall. I know Todd has said he loves purchasing his own homes in the fall. It's just his, not tradition, but his tendency. I don't know if it's because everybody's cooled off from the craze of the summer, school's back in session, but Q4 is typically where I feel like most people are moving and grooving, at least on my end. Especially if you've got Patrick saying there's good news coming. Obviously, there's no crystal ball, and we can't wait for it to get out of the shop. But I mean, that's good stuff for buyers to hear. It's exciting, and there's no fear in I don't feel scared or nervous about Q4 at all. It's all excitement on my end, and that's what I'm communicating.
Yeah.
Q4 2025, I think you have multiple elements working in your favor as a buyer. Interest rates are bleeding, where I'm seeing some low 6s.
Yep.
Do we see high 5s? Whatever those rate cuts are in September and October. No predictions there, but possible. Very likely. Numbers, jobs, all the things support that. You have readily available inventory. The amount of houses available in most of our DFW metroplexes are significantly higher than they have been in most markets. And then on top of that, you've got sellers who are willing to negotiate.
Yep.
And talk. And so with those 3 being in play and also, swinging to the pendulum in favor of buyers, you've got huge opportunity. There's not a lot of markets where 1, 2, and 3 all align. And the only reason that I say that is it's been that way. August and September were huge for the team, were huge for me personally with buyers. And I think we just continue to trend that direction because all the elements line up.
Yeah. You mentioned that Todd likes to buy, sell in the fall. We've done the same thing. And historically, I think that was because there was less competition in the fall, right?
Yep.
Buyers were more willing to negotiate in the fall and the winter because there was less people looking at their homes. That might not be the case this year. That might not be. If the interest rates do what we think, if the momentum continues with what it's doing, where we've had more buyers coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, I'm ready to go, and sellers saying, I'm more realistic, let's go and do this thing, that's not going to be the case in Q4. This actually might be your best time to do that. And if you're thinking about buying or selling during the rest of this year, if you want to be in something by the holidays, whether that's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever that looks like, reach out to us, 214-310-0008. You can, of course, go to touchmoneyteam.com, and if you haven't checked your home valuation, do so. Just type in, or just click on the home valuation tab, and it'll take less than a minute, and you'll find out what your home would sell for. You can get cash offers, all sorts of things like that. Touchmoneyteam.com, click in that home valuation tab. Hey, real quick, did you see a fun story that came out June 29th of this year? You see what happened in Fort Worth, at the Fort Worth Zoo?
No.
Do you know what my favorite musical to go watch is?
Cats?
No.
That was a good guess.
No.
Lion King.
Lion King. 2 new lion cubs born June 29th at the Fort Worth Zoo, and they are comparing it to the Lion King.
Congratulations.
Because now there's 3 cubs that have been born. They have an older brother. 3 cubs were born. Now it's like this growing pride, and it's attracting a lot of people, obviously, to go and see these cubs because lion cubs are cute, adorable, right? I mean, they're like the most lovely
Killers.
thing. Well, not at that age.
Not yet.
Cubs.
Jeez, Grady.
So they welcomed what was the name? No, it's not Simba.
Mufasa.
It wasn't. They welcomed Imara and Tamu.
I want to be part of the naming committee. I want in that room.
Do you know how they named them?
No.
So they named them in Swahili. Imara means strength, and in Swahili, Tamu means sweet, because Imara is adventurous and spirited, and Tamu, the brother, is reserved and gentle. So how about that?
Sweet strength.
Just fun.
was
Just
my
a fun
nickname.
little cute. That was your nickname?
Yeah, in high school.
Sweet strength?
Sweet strength.
For real?
Yeah. No.
Look at
that
you
guy.
had me.
Look at him.
You had me.
Not sweet, but he's got the strength.
He's got me, and I thought that what it might be. Hey, look, again, if you're thinking about buying or selling this year, if you're thinking about buying or selling next year, and you want to have a strategy session, reach out to us, give us a call, talk to myself, talk to Gibson. We'll get you connected with one of the team members, if not Gibson himself, if you would be so lucky. 214-310-0008. You can also go to touchmoneyteam.com. If you search for a home on the website, you're going to get connected with one of our agents. But the easiest way to do it is to give us a call, 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008. Thank you, Grady. Thank you, Gibson. Great job, Courtney.
Thank you.
Todd will be back next week.
Good job, everybody.
We'll see you later.
Peace.